Welcome to another Quadro VS video, and in this video I'm going to explain my network layout or my network topology. This video was supposed to be part of the Steam in-home streaming project video, but this video is going to be a little bit lengthy, maybe about 8 minutes, and I didn't want to drag on with that video, so I'm going to link this one to that one so you guys can see this video from that video and vice versa. So anyway, this is I'm doing this video to help you guys understand what my particular layout is and what my current layout is, and this is supposed to at least increase some feedback on if this particular setup was a problem with the Steam in-home streaming. Like I told you, I was having all kinds of problems with sometimes packet loss. It was very little packet loss, but it was saying reporting packet loss, and sometimes I was having, drop frames, and it was ridiculous. It was all over the place, and you know. So here's my network setup. I'm going to start with the little red box at the on the left side of the screen here, and this is the gateway. This is again where this is the beginning of the internet for some people. It's not really the beginning of the internet, but in your house, this is what you're going to see it as. It's the beginning of the internet. It's the gateway, it's the modem, it's the router, etc. This is a modem router combo, but we're going to call it a gateway to keep things simple. So this is an Action Tech wireless gateway provided by my ISP. It's red, so you know I have Verizon. And all my devices are coming off of this, so let's get started. The red box is my gateway, and there's a 150-foot cable, yes, 150-foot cable, coming from one of the ports. I can't remember which port it is. 150-foot Cat5e cable coming from whatever port to one of the first switches on my network, which is a Netgear unmanaged switch. It is a 5-port gigabit switch, okay? And as you can see, port 1 on the router, or excuse me, port 1 on the Netgear switch is being taken up by the provided WAN connection. So WAN from gateway, as you can see here. All right, so that's port 1. Port 1 is the WAN. Port 2 on the Netgear switch is my main server. This is my media server. This is actually, in this case, the Steam in-home streaming server. I mean, it's really not doing Steam in-home streaming now, but then in the video, it was doing Steam in-home streaming. Of course, other things, and that's why I was saying get dedicated hardware. Don't make a server that's already got task a Steam in-home streaming server, because the bad experience will happen and you're going to start throwing things out the window. So this is my main server. And again, that's doing right now my media. It's my media server. It does my backups. It does my audio recordings for recording a radio station, and it does all that while sitting on a shelf, not in the way, and it kind of does everything I needed to do. So that the main server is on port 2 of the Netgear switch. Port 3 is being taken up by the hypervisor. This is a Dell PowerEdge 2350. It is my experimental server to mess with operating systems and things of that nature. So this server doesn't run that much. It gets maybe 8 to 20 hours a month, so not even a full day of runtime in a single month. So it runs very seldom. Port 4 is connecting to another switch on my network, and that's also a 150-foot Cat5e cable. So again, 150 feet. That could be a problem. Attenuation is definitely present when you have a long cable, such as what I'm running here. And that's connecting to the Tenda 5-port gigabit switch, which is in my office / man cave / bedroom. It's basically where I sleep and game and do all my fun stuff. So port 1 on this Tenda switch is, of course, being connected from the Netgear, and the Netgear is getting its internet connection from the gateway, so it is providing a WAN connection, and that's port 1 of the Tenda switch. Port 2 is my main PC. That's a computer I'm on right now doing this recording. And that's my main PC, my gaming PC, my rendering PC, my work PC. It's got multiple purposes. It's pretty well spec'd. The third port on the Tenda switch is Media Center PC, and actually you see I have it Media Center PC number 1 because there's 2 on my network. I'll show you the other one later once I'm done explaining all of this. So the third port is the Media Center PC number 1, and that's basically the device I consume all my television on. I sit in front of that thing and play. Oh yeah, I also play games on it. It's got my it's got good hardware in it to play games locally, so I don't have to deal with Steam in-home streaming. That's where all the hardware went. All the hardware went, well, at least the main hardware, like the video card, went into this Media Center PC, and of course, it uses a little bit more electricity, but it had to happen because, of course, Steam and home streaming wasn't working. So that's on port 3 of the Tenda switch. Now, port 4 is the HD Homerun television capture device. This is what's allowing me to get television to my Media Center PC. Look it up on eBay, Amazon. It's an amazing device. Now, it is a little bit old school compared to what the ISPs are offering. Now, what the HD Homerun does is it allows me to turn any device on my network into a DVR. Of course, I can do it to as many devices as I want, but if any of those devices wanted to stream or record from that capture device, it would tie up a tuner, and there's only 3 tuners on this device. Um, so the reason why I went with an HD home run instead of a DVR from my ISP, first of all, they charge you extra. Um, and I mean, even with the home run, you do have to get a cable card, but it's like an extra $5 a month, and that's cheaper than getting the DVR, the cost of the equipment and the cost of the cable card itself. Um, and this allows me to record TV shows on my computer using Windows Home Center Edition, or excuse me, Media Center Edition. Um, I'm getting my words mixed up. Using Windows Media Center, I apologize. And then that allows me to record those shows and then take those shows off of the DVR and stream them to any of my computers on my network, as long as it's not something like HBO or Showtime, because that is copy protected media. You can't break it. I tried and it didn't work. I can't. So anything, if I'm recording from Fox News or CNN or FX, it's fine. It's not copy protected. But anyway, I digress. I am getting off subject. I apologize for that. HD home run television capture device. That's on the 4th port of the switch. Of course, there's a free port. So that's my network layout. Oh, I am not done. Let me zoom out a little bit. Now, this is Media Center PC 1, like I explained earlier. So there's got to be a number 2, right? And there is. Here it is down here in the basement. Media Center PC 2. It's in the basement, sitting on top of the TV. Or actually, it's not on top of the TV itself. It's behind the TV. But this is the device that will communicate with my server. So, and this is all over Wi-Fi. There is Ethernet connection in the basement. There's a switch down there, but it belongs to my security company, not me. Or yeah, it doesn't belong to me, so I don't want to plug my equipment into it. It is just a basic switch, so it will work. I tested it, but I don't want to plug anything into their equipment and then cause all kinds of other problems. So I have this set up to work over Wi-Fi that'll speak to the Action Tech wireless gateway, keyword wireless, and that's how it's able to communicate with the Netgear managed switch and then to the main server, and then that data is sent back and forth through the speed of light. So, or speed of electricity, because it's not fiber optics. So this is my network. That's my network layout. There is a little bit more. If I were to add all the phones and the laptops and the other switch that my security company has, but I mean that's not really what I use. This is all the equipment I can touch. I don't touch their equipment because that's their equipment. So there we go. I just wanted to do an explanation video of my network topology. My throat's getting dry. And if you have any questions or comments or anything to say um, um, about my Steam and home streaming project and why it failed and why it was running so shitty, this is my network layout, and this could have been a problem. I've got a 150-foot cable running between both switches. So from the router to the first switch, 150 feet, and then from the main server to the Tenda switch, that's another 150 feet. Oh yeah, and I forgot to say, Media Center PC2, or 1, excuse me, is running across on a 50-foot cable from the Tenda switch because it's across my room, so I didn't want to put a little 10-foot cable and have it stretched and looking all ghettofied. So that's going over a 50-foot Cat 6 cable, but that's from the main server to the switch and down to the Media Center PC1. That's 200 feet of cable. So attenuation was definitely very high. Now, to make a notice, I tried Steam and home streaming. I set up my main rig, which is a well-spec rig. It's got 16 gigs of RAM, a 7970 video card. It's got a SSD for the boot. It's got a 1 terabyte drive for all the games. It's got a gigabit NIC. I mean, it's pretty loaded. 750 watt power supply, so it can handle it. And I made that a Steam and home streaming server, and it ran perfect. I went over to my Media Center PC, which is on through a 50-foot cable. And remember, all this is connected to the same Tenda switch, and it ran beautifully. Now, I don't know if that would have ran beautifully at the server end where the server is. I didn't test that because I don't have anything that I just didn't get around to testing that. But um, it plays wonderful from the um, media center, excuse me, from my main PC to my media center PC with no frame skips. I mean, it's smooth as butter. So it could be the hardware, it could be the Ranger cable. Let me know. I know you guys have probably wanted to test this, and this is just going to be a nice video that you should reference, especially my Steam and home streaming video, before you go out and spend money and try to attempt what I attempted. So I know the video was not as detailed as Steam and home streaming server, but I had a bit of problems, and a lot of that video I didn't show because I was just cussing and just throwing things because I'm like, it's not working. So there we go. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Stay tuned for any of my upcoming videos and tutorials.